And we are live.
Mm. Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Hi, Emma. Welcome to Women's Perspective. Hi, Anthony. Welcome to Women's Perspective. This is our third live this month, and we are talking about this month. We are talking about changes and renewals, seasons and growth, and as I was just telling Gabriella in the good morning in a preview in the preview area or section of this live just a few minutes ago. You know, there were like fantastic sentences and thoughts pouring out of my head while I was in the shower, and I was I really wanted to have this thought recorder that I could just click it and it would record all my thoughts that I had in my head about how to introduce this live session today, and how to build this up, to give it some structure. But in fact, it doesn't really matter because I have some key points that I would like to that I remember from that line of thoughts. And and then this and what we are talking about is basically the women's perspective. And then, so if we're talking about women's perspective, then the question, I thought to mention that what women's perspective stands for. Women's perspective as an online magazine that Annette called it a while back, and I think it's pretty fitting. So if I go to the Women's Perspective website about section, it says, I'm not going to read the whole thing, that Women's Perspective was born out of the fire and passion of seeking justice, being equal, and most of all worthy of love and to be seen. Women's perspective is here to be an example where we are making space for one another, where we are lifting each other up, lending each other the helping hand, a listening ear, the willingness of consideration, an open mind. Women's perspective is a place where it's okay to not to have it all together all the time, where our friends are going to have our backs to help us out in times of needs. And it is a sisterhood where friends don't look alike. We have different backgrounds, but here we are here to understand one another. And it's not just a title, mother or wife. We are not just a title, mother or wife, but whole, worthy, real flesh and blood people with beating hearts, brains, interests, and dreams. We are here to allow ourselves to become our best selves and to reach for our full potentials. And it's a place to show as many human faces, ideas, dreams as possible, to care, to nurture, to empathize, to laugh and cry together, feel each other's pain and even heartbreaks. So, Women's Perspective is a place where we are aspiring to learn from each other. What is it to be a woman? One post, one poem, one live at a time. And here we are having a live following a post that was sent out earlier this week, and then we are going to talk about all this. So I would like to welcome all the new joiners. It's fantastic that you made some time for us to listen to us today. So I would like to introduce my my guests in plural today. You can see one of them at the moment. Her name is Dr. Gabriella Körösi. And well, actually, let her introduce herself. So maybe you're better at it than I am.
Hi, everybody. And I just wanted to say that Gabriella also joined us, the other Gabriella, so you can invite
Mhm.
her right now. We're
Yes.
also going to have my co-conspirator, Gabriella Trofin Tatar, in this conversation. So she will join us. And I'm a writer, author, public health professional, nurse, and we have written um, a book
Oh, yeah.
about women.
Oh,
And there is Gabi. Hi, Gabi.
hi everyone.
And I was really excited because our book is actually going to be published this month, and it's all about women. So it was super great that we got this invite from Henriette to talk about women and women's perspective right now. So I'm going to give the word to Gabriella Trofin Tatar so she can say a few words about herself, and then we can start our conversation.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's really nice that I'm able to join.
Welcome.
Yeah, and I am Gabby. I'm a writer. I write from my kitchen table, like literally, but also an economist by background. And I worked in corporate, and I'm a mom of three. So I'm writing most of the time when I'm not at my kitchen table. Yeah. And I met Gabriella Karoshi uh, thanks to writing on writing platforms. And we also met in person in January and had the chance to spend time together and get to know each other.
It's fantastic. So yes, I saw that. Actually, I saw a video live from Gabriella. When was it? I don't know. Maybe a couple of weeks ago, back in Hungary, in
Yeah.
Budapest, walking out into the garden, um, saying sorry, saying sunset for sunrise,
Yes, I did.
and
I did mix it up.
bare feet in February, I guess. For, so yeah, showing off the parliament, I believe, and and the flowers that they were in the garden. Um, and I noticed, I mean, I know that you two are nature lovers. And so there are a lot of changes in our environment this time of the year in March, right? So as I was going to, and I was talking about in my post about March and what it represents for me, what it reminds me of. Um, Maybe you could tell something about your thoughts, what March represents for you, and um, and how you experience it, and how do you experience it now, if it is any different. Any of you would like to?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, I just want to say something cool that we all have a connection to Hungary, right? I was born
Yeah.
there, Gabriella Trofintarát, living there right now. And
Hmm.
Henriette, you're from there as well. And we are all
Yes.
from different parts of the world right now, but we
Yeah.
have that kind of a connection. And of course, we are all women. I love March. I love March because of all the things are just starting to bloom. I can start planting. Like yesterday, I did a lot of little plants, including some of paprika and tomato plants from Gabriella and her mom that they gifted to me. And I just also love that some of the things from last year are still in my garden, so I can go out and pick parsley, and I can pick parts of chives and chard and garlic leaves that are starting to come up, and I can put them in my soup. And I just love that awakening of nature that it things just started to bud out. And after the sleepiness of the winter, like today here, we have just a beautiful day, and it's nice when you can start to go outside and see a blue sky and start to take nature walks, which we did all last year with Gabriella. And I think just everything just seems a little brighter with March as it's just coming in nature, as just things are starting to bloom and bud out and plant and all those things. So I really enjoyed that in March.
Yeah, that's so beautifully said. Yeah, and what about you, Gobi?
Yeah, for me, it's about waking up into the sunshine. So I find
Yeah.
this so amazing. We really had such dark days for months, and it was about more about hibernation. I felt it more like ever before this year. This
Mm-hmm.
feeling to let things simmer in the background in a way. And so after all this hibernation, uh, March is just blooming. And it's not only about flowers and nature, it's also about us, I think. And
Right.
I wanted to share a really beautiful quote
Mm-hmm.
that somehow found me today. It's by Leah Malott from a book called Coffins and Rhinestones. I don't know the book, but I found this quote and I will share it with you. It's but why should the daffodils and tulips get all the praise and blessings? My rebirth goes unnoticed. I am worthy of smiles and dazzled cries of worship. And this made me so happy because us women, we can also bloom now. We can be aware of this blooming in March and feel more, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a time, right? This is a time of the
yeah,
year when everybody is, you know, uh, feeling a little bit like, what is it, spruced up, or
Yeah.
I don't know. Um, that there, that's when the baby, there's the time of love, in time of love in nature, time of like pollination, or
Mhm.
like baby animals are gonna come like in a
yeah,
couple of, I don't know, months. Baby kittens and puppies and goats and I don't know what else. So it is naturally the time of renewal, of restart, starting over, um, new life, even in the old one. If it is, it's a restart for like everyone this time of the year. I guess it's not only the flowers and the trees and the leaves that are coming out, or the sun that is shining a little bit warmer this time of the year, but it's also everybody else, everything, all the other living creatures are coming to life, getting out of their caves, the bears, or what is it in the US that was in February? Groundhog Day, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
groundhog is coming out of its, I don't know, burrow or something. So, like, you can start hearing birds chirping in the morning, and not just the crows. Because I,
No.
I love the crows, but they kind of got quiet or went away. I don't know what happened to them. But then started um, hearing more of the chickadees. They are
Hmm.
waking up, and so that these all these noises, um, you know, kind of playing music to our hearts, right, and then lift us up a little bit in spirit, as well. So reason to make us happy.
Absolutely. I love that. I love
Everything.
that when I open the door in the morning and you walk out and you just close your eyes and you just listen to the birds. It
Yeah.
it's one of the most beautiful music on earth when you just listen and they just have the perfect melody and it's kind of brings this synchronicity without any planning, right? You just go and walk in the forest. And then when Gabi and I walked in the forest, just a few weeks ago, we had some similar experiences. There's places where you just stop and you just breathe in the forest and just listen to the birds or just sit and watch the birds. And yeah, I even did a few little videos of some of those things. It's just so beautiful. But I think with the brighter skies, with the more green, we also get more inspired and more awakened. And I'm grateful that March is kind of a woman's month and kind of bring that kind of inner inspiration
Right.
out as well.
So you just said that March is Women's International Women's Month, Women's History Month. I think that's what they call it. But what I think we are more familiar with in Hungary is the day, International Women's Day, which is March
Yeah.
8th. And
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, like, do you mind if I share that what you told me over the phone call about March 8th, the other day when we talked?
Yeah, feel
Uh,
free to share whatever we talked
so,
about. I have no
you know,
secrets.
no secret. Okay. So,
What did I say?
what did you say? Um, so, yeah, so going back to my post that I shared on Monday, is one of the things that I was talking about is International Women's Day, but what
Yeah.
March 8th really is representing for me. And it represents me, like I associate it with my uncle, because my uncle always came and brought flowers to all the women, all the female family members, um, while it is his name day. So, like,
Hmm.
pushing
Oh,
himself,
yeah.
aside the very fact that it is the time to celebrate him, right? And he went and celebrated women, and he still does that. Like, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I didn't ask my
Mm.
mother that if he went to. I think she mentioned that he did. He always do. Like, whenever he can, like every year, he would not miss it. Like, let me just one of these, right?
Mhm.
He
Sack
would
food.
come.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
sacred carnations. He would go buy them
Mhm.
for everyone, like all the
Hmm.
women in the family, and celebrate us. It reminds me of Valentine's Day, in a sense that when it comes to Valentine's Day, I would say that, I want love and respect, and the expression of being valued, expressed during every day of the year, not only one day.
Yeah.
Still, still getting a flower or chocolate, it feels really good, and so, and this is all about that recognition, that feeling, that, and he knows it, and it brightens up everybody. It is such a nice thing, to receive something, to be recognized for purely who you are. And who are you is you are a woman, or a girl, a woman in the making, right? So for me, this habit of showing up, continuously, constantly showing up, this actually symbolizes, um, the love and the care with which he is, you know, relating to the women in his life. And I think I find it really beautiful. And so the secret was, I mean, I don't know. So it is about the name days, right? And so
Yeah.
you mentioned that you went back in Hungary, and it is so not the part of culture here in the United States, while it is, in fact, it used to be, at least when I was growing up, that name days were celebrated more. So, like, I think it's also a habit, or not habit, uh,
Tradition, maybe.
tradition, yeah, that
Yeah.
no, the people, they actually name their kids after themselves. I mean,
Yes.
not all of them, but, like, for this reason, interestingly enough, we had like three Irenes in the family, right? And then we have three Zoltans. And that's, so your dad is also Zoltan, and
Yes.
Zoltan Day
Is.
falls on International Women's Day. And so I'm not gonna tell what happened. If you want,
I forgot. We
you
can say I forgot that
you
it was my dad's name's day, and my sisters were bringing treats for dad, and I I made it up 2 days later because
yes,
I said,
that's
"I'm
that's
sorry."
perfect.
We were not really celebrating that in the US, and I totally forgot about his name's day, so that's what happened. But I also got flowers from him, from other people in the family, and young boys in the family, and my sisters, husbands and things like that. And it was such a nice little tradition going around, and everybody was getting
Right.
flowers, and it ended up being a nice big, bouquet for. We just put it together, and then we separated it when everybody left for the evening. But yeah, I do think it's a nice tradition to have, and it was kind of fun to participate in it. I'm glad I was home for that in Hungary.
Yeah, I was
What
happy
about?
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm happy that Gabriella had this experience here because I know it's different in other places,
Yeah.
and we had similar. We celebrated in a similar way with the family, the whole family, extended family here, and we get the women, the girls get in the end a lot of flowers, big bouquet, and we take a family photo, and share food and cakes, and the kids run around.
So
But
you're
Gabi,
talking
you
about
told
now. No, oh, sorry.
me about a tradition in Romania, though, that I really love.
Yeah.
When we
What
were
is it?
out in the nature walk in the turtles place,
Hmm.
and you were telling me about this tradition that women pick a day, and then there was the old woman coming in with all the coats, and
Yeah.
I think it's just such a beautiful tradition. If you don't mind, Harriet, I would love for her to share. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about March and how many changes are happening every day in terms of weather more, but weather affects us usually. So there is a legend that there is an old lady, and this lady wears 8 coats, and every day she takes off a coat, and the day can be windy, sunny, rainy, both or everything in in one day. It can be anyhow, and especially when I was small, the kids would choose their day. So I always chose the 5th of March. That was my favorite number, and on the 5th of March, I would pay attention to the day, how it unfolded, the weather. Usually it's sunny,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, this is like me. So we say that the day we choose, it's usually like the person, and it's funny when somebody chooses their day and it's rainy, and you think, oh, the person could be not like a sunny one, or I don't know if you
And then the
understand.
same
So
one is for man too. So I just really like
yeah,
the
so
idea that you have a whole day to yourself. It's kind of like you pick a day, and that's your
you pick a
Right.
day,
day.
and you notice the changes in the weather on that day, and they say that that day is like the person
Mm-hmm.
who chose it in terms of weather, in terms of, so. But I think it's usually the other way around, that if it's cloudy, you might not feel in the mood to be joyful, or if it's sunny, you are
Right.
happy, and so it's
So the
it's more
weather has
about,
an effect on us, right? Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's more about adapting to changes, because this is an explanation
Mm.
of how we go this through spring, because spring can be snowy, rainy, it's changeable, and
Right.
And did
life
you
is the
see?
same way.
Did you see, Gabi, what just Warren just brought? Warren just joined us. He's one of our
Yeah.
editors in Dancing Elephant Prats, and an amazing writer and author. And his dad's birthday was March 5th, so he was saying how
Okay.
special that is. That is just like so perfect that you always pick March 5th too, and you know, yeah,
Nice.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and following these 8 days for the women, there are
hmm
8 days for the men, and there is an old man wearing a similar
yeah.
coats, and the weather keeps changing,
Mm-hmm.
and
I love that symbolism. Like keep taking
yeah,
off
Right.
the coats. It's like keep taking off the layers
yeah.
of the onions, and then until you get to the core, and then it's kind of like a freedom
Right.
and picking your day. It's such
Mm.
a beautiful symbolism.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me of like those points that I mentioned to you earlier in that preview, when I said that. So, like, women's perspective, and this is kind of. I mean, it is an outlook on women's perspective, or women's, how the traditions are. Uh, um, So what I was gonna say is that this is like writing and speaking is
Mhm.
basically a tool to express our feelings, and what those feelings that they can be live inside us, they can be contradicting of each other and still live inside us next to each other. And then I am what I am sensing. I'm not sure if I completely understand this tradition that you mentioned, but the adaptation part of it is basically switching over uh, inside from one feeling to the next, and it's kind of like it can be like a powerful thing to be the master of your own mind and heart and feelings, kind of. That's what it made me think. um, So we mentioned International Women's Day, and we talked about a little bit about name days, but we didn't say what name day really was. So the name days are actually um, they are actually names on the calendar, the day that your name appears on the calendar, and it is a European tradition, and not all European countries um, celebrate name days, and some of them they who do that, they might have a given name um, on a different day in their calendar than we do. So my name day is in March. And when is your name day? When are your name days?
December 12th is Gabriella in Hungary.
In Hungary,
So
and in Romania, it's in November.
Oh,
November. All
what
So
day
right.
in
I
November?
celebrate both because why not?
So when is
Right.
it in November, Gabi?
November 8th.
November
Mhm.
8th. That is
Yeah.
so
Right.
interesting. Wow. I like
It's
it.
the religious equivalent because it's Saint Michael
Right.
and Gabriel, and it's
Okay.
Right.
according to the Orthodox calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically the background
Yeah.
of the name day, that is kind of that's related to
Hmm.
religion, I suppose. Like one
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
these popes, I forgot which one. I did actually attach the link. So if you check out my post on the Women's Perspective website, there is a link like what is a name day, and if you click on
Mm-hmm.
it, then it is going to direct you to the Wikipedia site of that, and it stems from religion, but it more became a tradition
Yes.
over time. So it's I don't know if in some cultures people actually go to church on that given day or not, or practice any kind of you know practice anything that day. It is more like celebrating ourselves or other people celebrating us, which is better, but kind of. But so that was one thing that we mentioned, and
And there's a lot of things in the chat that Warren wrote. I don't know if you wanna
sure,
read
hold on.
those. Um,
Okay, so yeah, let me go back here.
and I wrote a really cool article back in the day about what the name Gabriella means. I was gonna look it up and put it in a chat if if people
Sure,
wanna
yeah, or you can
people wanna.
actually read it if you want to, if it is not
It's a
too long.
longer one,
Oh, is
but
it?
but I can put the link to it and then yeah.
So Warren says every day has its own unique vibe, and it offers us so many things which are special to us in different ways. And then every day is a portal to an unexplored universe, as it helps us to evolve and grow as humans and as writers and artists. And then name days are celebrated in many European and Orthodox cultures to honor the saint a person is named after, often considered more important than birthdays. Traditions include hosting an open house party, gifting flowers or small items, eating special meals. Yeah,
Yeah, we do that. So
yes, that's what.
we
Yeah.
don't go to church, but if it's some big name date celebration like Saint Mary or some big saints, then people do go to church, especially
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
it's on a Sunday or.
But if you have like a number of people having the same first name in a family or
Yeah,
co-workers, even it is more celebrated at workplaces as well. So like your
yeah,
co-workers are aware of your name and they know when your name day is coming up, and you might have a little celebration at work as well. So, but it is basically an opportunity for celebrating each other, um, be cheerful, and just enjoy each other's company. So, uh,
So I can read a little bit from it because it's a little
mhm,
bit different from, how name day started in the article I wrote. So it says that the tradition began centuries ago, and this was explained by Linda Kinsler in her article, Celebrate Your Name Day. It's like a birthday, but better. And then Linda explained that the name days began with the Greek gods, saints, and an opportunity for the church to decide what names are appropriate. Today, name day is largely separated from the church. So I think it is really interesting to have that little twist on it, that it was names that considered appropriate to use in the beginning for the names, and how in today's society now we totally got away from that. Like some names are like they're just really out there, that are um, like the farthest from being appropriate. So
yeah,
it's
like
subjective.
what, like what?
It's subjective. Yeah, I mean,
it
Like,
people.
just can you come up with an example, because I am really
well, there's
curious
people
now.
who like named after a street where they were born in, or there's just kind of like really like there's some things out there, or named after a killer in a movie, or things like that that just like very different from like
Wow. Okay.
this traditional intention. So right now it's um, I think really evolved into something different than it was originally intended to by the church, which is
Yeah,
it's just kind of an interesting observation. And
Yeah, it's
my name
interesting.
Gabriella originates from Hebrew, and it's the female pair of Gabriel. And the name incorporated into religions including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And the name Gabriella means God gives strength in Hebrew, man of God or champion of God. In Italian, the name means woman of God, strength of God. In Swedish, the name means strength. In American, woman of God. Um, I always explained my name that it comes from the archangel named Gabriel, because that's what the originality from. I thought it was beautiful, and Gabriel was a messenger appearing in the Virgin Mary, announcing that she was chosen to bear the Son of God, and that came from the National Gallery of Description. And we celebrated, of course, in December 12th, which was not the best for me, because we had the first Santa we celebrated on December 6th, and
Yeah.
then my name day, December 12th, and then there come Christmas, and my birthday is in January. So by the time my birthday come, like there was no gifts left. Like you got all the gifts.
I mean,
So,
still be happy, because at least your birthday is not falling
but
on
I like
Christmas
now
or.
Gabriella's day because it's in November. So there's a bigger gap to celebrate as well.
Well, you know what is funny, actually, what I'm thinking about it now, because that how my grandmother, not the one that I normally refer to, but the other one. Let me see. That her name was Piroshka, and then when is
Hmm.
Piroshka name? It's, I think, January 20th.
Hmm.
Um, but then my dad, his birthday was January 17th, and I think that's Antal, like Anthony, and his middle name was Anthony.
it's on the same day, 18.
Hmm.
So
Hiroshima.
maybe that was like an intentional thing from my grandmother, that that giving to give him the middle name that was on the calendar on the day that he was born. I'm not sure, but if it wasn't intentional, then it is an interesting coincidence.
But I
So
think people
Yeah.
used to do that. So they would name
you
the
think so?
kids by the calendar. So when the day or some day around the day they were
Yeah.
born,
I do
Oh,
believe
okay.
that people who
it
did
used to
that.
be
Yeah.
done.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I noticed this when that I think what name day is it?
January
Today?
18 is the Piroshka name day.
Oh yeah, but it's 17th. It's Anthony.
But
Yeah,
I think
okay.
there's a good point that Warren puts in there that however there's a number of ladies called Michelle in his family and aunts and cousins and second cousins, and he said however every Michelle, he puts it in
Yeah.
parentheses, is different in personality, mindset, tradition, which is so wonderful, like a pieces of mosaic, all the names fit together so well in life. And I think that's an important to recognize that we are all different and unique, no matter how you call, no matter where you are, and
But there is
kind of.
something to that description though, because like in thinking of my own name, there
Mhm.
is some truth that it rings. That because mine is related to house or I don't know house or building, and I mean what is it? What does it mean?
It means ruler of the home or estate.
Oh yeah,
Oh, there
because
you go.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah. So I'm wearing the pants, right?
It's very strong. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
It's about leadership and strength. So it's.
But it does matter, I think, how you name a child,
Mhm.
for example, And then I did see a lot of people who changed their name. So like especially at my last work, I had multiple people who had their given name, but they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be called something different
Mm-hmm.
in a conversation. They didn't like their name or it didn't resonate with them, and they changed their name, and their friend friends and coworkers and call them what they wanted to be called, not by their given name. And some people go as far as totally change their name
Right.
when they are grown.
I mean, you just told me that there are nicknames that you don't like being called
Yes.
for different reasons, and then there are ways of being called or talked to, like like to just to pronounce a name that is not a pleasant one. So,
Yeah.
like what you were saying, that reminded me of the very fact that how I was bullied, given what would you say, a guinea,
Oh,
um,
okay.
when I was a kid, and so and it was hurtful. It was hurtful, and when I restarted, I went to a different school in a different town. Nobody knew me. Then I had the opportunity to introduce myself, and I
Yeah.
picked my nickname, which now, that many years after, kind of starts feeling like almost silly,
Hmm.
because I'm not gonna say it, but to put the nanny afterwards, like getting a bit older,
Yeah.
and nanny. What do you say nanny is?
It would be like ma'am, saying ma'am, or it's
Um,
kind of more traditional that you are, yeah,
for
that you
older
would
woman,
you
yeah.
would greet older women in Hungary. Um, and that happened is it happened, I don't know if it's still happening, Gabi, you can tell me, but when I was growing up, like everybody would tell my mom, instead of her name they would say my name, and they would say Gabi Neni, because they knew the
Mhm.
child's name. So they would tell the mother name, they would call the child's name, and they would say, oh, Gabi Neni is here, even
It's
though my
perfect.
mom's name was Borbala, because they didn't know the mother name, but they know the
Right, yeah,
children's
yeah.
name. So
They're
everybody was
identified.
calling everybody's mother by the child's name and adding Nani to it, which just
Mhm.
mean
I
an older
haven't. I
It's
person.
haven't heard.
confusing, but
I
it
Yeah,
makes
haven't
sense.
heard
interesting.
it.
Interesting.
Because
Yeah.
But
Things change, times change.
what still kept is to take the husband's name
Oh,
and put
mhm.
ne in the end.
oh
So
no.
that's still not everyone does it, but
The-
many are still
oh,
doing it.
At my first marriage, that was true too, and my grandmother and
Yeah.
was the same thing. And actually, my grandmother, even after the divorce, kept the name because there was more respect if you were married than if you were not. And nowadays, it's going
Mhm.
to the opposite, that many women keep their name, or like in my family, some uh, people chose to, because my father only had girls, so the name wouldn't go forward. So then now they added the father name to the boys, the grandson's name, so the name would carry forward. So names are
Right.
very interesting,
Wow.
and Warren did say some interesting things, and I agree with that. That uh, people did choose names to be more powerful in the old days. Like it mattered how you were called. Like you
Hmm.
wouldn't want to call something weird if you aim to be the president forever, or or a warrior, or something like that. So but the meaning of names do change with time too, I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
just thinking, even thinking about it, like my mom, so like going back to this nanny thing, is it's interesting what you just said about that because what you said about your mom being called Gobi Nanny and her first
Hmm.
name was not Gabriella.
Yeah.
That is like identifying that woman with you,
Through me.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or through you.
Yeah.
And that is like parallel to this is the other thing that you said, Gobi, about the nay, like someone else's wife. And
Yeah.
that is that the thing is that in both cases, the woman is losing its identity, her identity, because you
Yeah.
stop being yourself
Yeah.
and you all of a sudden become someone else.
Hmm.
And it is like really troubling for me. And I said, I mean, it's kind of like kind of volcano
Works you up a
starts
little.
boiling in me
Yeah.
because like I am so against it because as like this feeling of equality that it is like
Hmm.
for like the feeling need for justice is it's been there in my life like from very early on. And so I kept my name.
Hmm.
I am me. I was me from early on, and I'm gonna be me until the end. And
Hmm.
but it does it really matter? Because if I think about it, people are not really going to, if they don't want to, they're not gonna see me for me. They're just gonna
Yeah.
see whatever, and then still I am associated with that. I am this person's this, or I am in this in this at this position at a job, or I'm this kid's mother, right? So I don't know if like what the importance is. I mean, if there is an importance to it or not. I know that I kept my name and I actually pass it on to my daughter, right?
Hmm.
And it is kind of like bowing in front of my grandfather and my father, who my granddad that was kind of it kind of not unhappy about it because he loved me very much, but he didn't have a grandchild. He had two sons, but not one grandson who would carry on his name. And then I
Yeah.
thought to carry on his name, and my daughter is carrying it. I mean, I don't know how long. Hopefully, she's gonna keep it. She has long enough that she can cut pieces of it out if she wants to later. But we have that we had that going. But about the nanny thing, I would like maybe that is used here in the U.S. more like when you have a person somewhat older than you are, like there's a, let's say, a considerable age difference between you two, and then you call them aunt or uncle, and they are not actually related to you.
Hmm.
So like, but they are
Close.
you're
Or.
showing respect towards
Hmm.
that person, their age, or that's what I think that might be that could be translate to. So yeah, wow, okay, that went
I do want to
interesting.
say that Warren rose a great point. Is like, and I think it's kind of going into what you were saying about the names, that I feel that a rose is still a rose and small and sweet, even if it had a different name, as it does a number of languages. So, even though if like in some traditions you're forced, you have to take your husband's name or
Right.
whatever it is.
Hmm.
Like you don't even have a choice. But underneath, no matter what name, no matter what culture, no matter what religion, you are the person and you're going to shine through, So I think it's important to not to be put down by that, or kind of lift that up as one of the layers. Okay, maybe I'm under this name, but this is who I am underneath. And I think we all, in some way or another, try to find who we are, our inner peace and our inner self. And those of you who are listening who feel like maybe you can't, yes you can. You can start to lift up those layers and find who you are underneath. You're not defined by anybody else, but just your inner heart, your inner kindness, your inner soul and connection, what you have. And I think that's very important to talk about when we are looking at women, because there's so many centuries women were kind of oppressed, and now in most places women can vote, we have a voice, we can write, we can talk, we can educate. um, like one of my great friends in India, Dr. Prati Sai, she was the first woman who did the PhD in finance. And that was a big thing because nobody had done it before her. And then she
Hmm.
she taught, and it was a big struggle to get into that, to be accepted as a woman, that we are smart enough that we can do this thing. So I think that kind of that power is also important for women in March, and that's something we should celebrate, that we have these rights, because unfortunately there's countries that women don't have these rights, and women, kind of oppressed and hurt and being compared to cows or cattle or whatever it is, or a goat, and being
Sold, sold
sold
for,
and take
yeah, yeah.
being sold as property, or being used for sex trafficking, or being used for our body, not for our mind and our individuality. So I think those of us who can, we do need to speak up and show all the things that women can do, so that hopefully that help other women who are not able to do that, to have some hope and or freedom. I don't know. This just came out not planned, but
Yeah, but it's perfect. It is wonderful that, because I was thinking earlier a while back, talking about this, that what it means to be a woman in different areas of the world,
yeah.
and it's silly, but I do remember being told, kind of like trying to scare me off traveling early when I was, I don't know, in my teens, like
Hmm.
getting closer to 20 or something like that, and that, oh, like, you are blonde with blue eyes, you shouldn't go to certain countries because they would kidnap you.
Hmm.
And I don't feel that I am in that danger anymore because I'm getting older, and so I'm not exactly in that youth category anymore. But there are cultures that I heard of, that where parents decide for their daughters from the moment that the girls are born, who they're going to marry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they give, one family gives the other one, I don't know, 20 goats or 5 cows, or I don't know what, and that's what you are worth.
Yeah.
You have that value, that monetary value as a woman, and you have no say in your own life whatsoever. And so, I mean, I cannot even comprehend, what it might feel for. Maybe uh, that is okay for those women because they don't know different. I don't know
I
what
don't
it
know.
feels like to
I
them,
mean,
or
I'm sure that they have
um,
feelings and needs and wants and desires. I think it's so deeply oppressed that they might not know it, but it would be nice for them to be able to choose what they want to
right.
do, for sure.
So like once you open your eyes, that you cannot really unsee these things, I think.
Yeah,
And then, so that makes me think about that how important it is for us to grab onto and hold on to all those rights and opportunities that we have, and
absolutely.
then get to the very best of our potentials. Because um, there might have been, probably there were women in my lineage, going back, that they were, smart. They had different interests, but they didn't have the opportunity to be themselves. And then, unfortunately, there is a chance that there will be women in the future that they are not going to have the chance either. And so we are actually, in my opinion, very lucky, and we have to recognize the value that is in it.
Yeah.
And do something with it to make our voices heard
Yes.
um, as women. And so I didn't see this coming,
I have a
but
tiny story on this, that um, uh, when you get a number of, monetary value, or a number of something
mhm,
linked to yourself. So we were just tourists. We were visiting Egypt
mhm,
about 20 years ago. I was with my parents, so I was teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes my dad was asked by guys how many camels I
oh,
cost.
okay,
So how many
Oh my
camels they
gosh.
wow,
Oh
should
my
give
god.
for me. And they're like, whoa. It was very strange. My dad said, "You don't have so many camels. You will never have so many camels." But
Infinite
imagine,
camels for Gabriella. No.
imagine getting a number, a sign, and it's like, yeah.
Wow.
So it just
okay.
reminded
What
me
is
of this.
somebody worth? And I would say
Yeah.
we are worth so much that it's impossible to pay. So, but it's really sad that, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad your dad didn't say you for
Yeah.
camels,
Thinking
because
back,
I mean, I
thinking
mean,
back.
I mean, it's, but he could have, right?
I know,
And he
yeah, like he
chose
could have
not
said any
to.
number, even
And
if
in that
just
I
country,
mean,
that
joking.
seemed
if
normal that to
he
ask.
didn't like her, then he
Oh my,
could have, but then he probably wouldn't have taken her to that trip, right?
Exactly. No, I mean, we didn't know this soft
yeah,
cultural, we didn't expect this kind of exchanges.
of course not. And it might be
And
different now. They don't do that because they learn more about the culture. But 20
I
years ago,
doubt it.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. It is so interesting that how these habits and cultures are actually so deep rooted in us,
Mm.
hmm
that, so like, um, when I was writing that article, that I didn't say it specifically, but then I know that about myself, that there are times when I just want to run away, right? And then I am here that far away. So like if I was somewhat closer, possibly somewhat closer to home, I would probably get in my car and drive home at times. But here, I don't have that chance that every single time that there is something that is bothering me to rush home. So I get in my car and drive and try to kind of get away from the issue that is bothering me inside. And but that's not exactly what I wanted to say, but that is truth. That I kind of seek out home in a way, and then driving for me, which is I am able and I got a driver's license, right? That many women couldn't drive. Like
yeah, but
I was
grandma never
told,
had one.
my uncle told when aunt was my aunt wanted to get a driver's license, and he said that women don't need to drive. It was my
Wow.
uncle, the very same uncle. And then then she actually got the driver's license. And then his daughter and his son, everybody got a driver's license. So his view on this has changed. But I do remember when he said that women don't need to drive. And driving for me, it also means, I mean, um, it is part. It's kind of in. It's not that I am that good at it or anything like that, but it makes me. It's a connection for me
There's a
with
sense of
home.
freedom, isn't it? In
It's a
driving and
sense
be
of
able to go
freedom.
where you want to go. Yeah.
And then it is also a connection with my dad, who was a driver. My uncle is a driver. Like that driving is in the family. So for me, that is kind of going home. Anytime I sit in my car and wherever I go home. And then that's also when some I can clear my head,
Hmm.
and my thoughts get crystallized, and I can get some sort of a peace if there is an inner turbulence inside that. It's like almost like talking with someone, like maybe like I do drive and I see leaves on the road, and I'm reminded of my father telling me that they can be slippery in the fall if the the leaves are wet and things like that. So it's like
Yeah.
say it,
Therapeutic. Yeah.
Therapeutic.
therapeutic, yeah.
Yeah. But just like us,
So,
like there's a freedom in this, like that we are able to have this conversation. And even though we are all in different places, we can come
right.
together online and have this freedom of expression, of speaking our mind. And I just do want to mention there's a great side conversation going on in a chat with
Oh, okay.
the Gabriella and Warren over here. So I think it's worth mentioning
Yeah.
um,
Which one do you,
those.
because would you like
Well,
to read
Warren
it?
started about the believing it a soul mission and purpose in life, not limited by name, culture, religion, and color of skin, as some others might think in life. And then he was saying it was reminding him of the dowry system in the East, where the price is
Mhm.
laid on a young woman for her to marry a young man. Hopefully, this dowry system is being eradicated. And
Right.
I honestly don't
yeah.
think it will be for a long time now, because this
Hmm.
is so ingrained. It's in the culture, and it's also linked strongly with societal
Yeah.
expectations. So even if on one side people are trying to change, are more open-minded, this is really strong, I think, in
In
some cultures. Like I think
Yeah,
India,
I think India
African
is very
countries,
strong.
Middle East.
Africa,
Yeah.
Middle East. Yeah, I was just gonna say that in some countries, and I don't know how it works in the Asian countries, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
as well. But even when I
So
grow up, it was kind of ingrained in us that you choose a,
mhm.
a partner that has well means, or
Mm.
something like that. And it was kind of like
The
my
safety, right?
grandmother was like,
Mhm.
oh my God, this person is a doctor, or it was a big thing if somebody, like, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a big thing, but like it was looked upon if somebody had a
Mhm.
higher
Status.
profession, or were in the government, or were more educated, then they seemed more suitable than somebody else. And love was not even a question. It was like, oh, this person is a doctor, you should meet them. I'm like,
Yeah, it's a
you know
status. So
Okay.
yeah,
marrying
yeah,
to
it's
a
kind
Yeah.
of
different.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was actually thinking is that even like after like 20 years, not continuously, I mean, like being away, let's put it this way. After 20 years, when I am somewhat conscious of this whole thing,
Hmm.
and at some point, I really wanted to get away from that way of thinking, that kind of pressure that
Hmm.
society I felt, or my inner, or my close environment put on me. Um, I ended up realizing that I am thinking the same way still.
Mm.
And there are things that if I am not focusing on doing differently, then I will do exactly the same way that my family was doing it, or
How
my mother.
interesting.
So like you. there's this, what is it, that you cannot take something out of something, but you cannot, but there's this saying, but
Hmm.
I cannot escape. I cannot escape that root, that environment that I was trying to get away
Hmm.
from, because that is part of me. So like I'm going to always long for it when I'm gonna go and sit in my car and look for home, that peace, that known, that familiarity, or that it would represent, maybe.
Yeah. But that's all within. That's the only
But
place you can find it. There's no physical place where you can find it. You have to find it within that peace.
Hmm.
Then no matter
right,
what, I just had a great, I belong to a healthy neighborhood project, and we just had a great conversation about that. And somebody was just mentioning in the group that there could be a war and chaos going on outside, but if you find that inner peace and inner belonging and that inner home where you are, you're always gonna be there, no matter what outside is happening. But it's not easy, and as Gabi was saying, yeah, you can move to another country if you can, but many people can't or can't afford
Hmm.
it, or even it's difficult because then there's other challenges come when you are in another country. First of all, speaking the language, having people understand you, getting a reasonable education, reasonable job. It's
Yeah.
not that's not easy either.
right.
Uh, and change is very slow. So those countries that we talked about, the Middle East and Africa and India, where they still have that system that the woman could be sold or, given a husband who may be much older, or love not even coming to an option, or, I just saw a movie where somebody was renting a fake husband. It was an Indian woman. It was renting a fake husband. So show the parents that they were married, and then she was able to be with the woman who she actually loved.
Oh, okay.
Because the parents were satisfied that she married to this man, but she really loved this woman, but it was not accepted in the Indian culture for a woman to marry a woman. So she fake
I
married
mean,
this man to be able to be with the woman she loved. So
fake
there's
married or really married the person? Fake married or really got married to the person
Well, for it,
officially?
it looked like a real marriage, but it was not. But the
Mm.
parents were satisfied, and then she was going
But
abroad, so
how sad is it that
you had to
that
do that. Yeah. Well, this was a movie, so I don't know if this would happen
oh,
in
it's in
real
a movie.
life.
Okay, all
But
right, all right then.
but there's a lot
What
of
we were
movies. There's a lot
talking.
of movies and different things about this. So I'm sure that it happens in real life that um, people satisfy their parents or the system or whatever, and then go and do what they want underneath because they are not able to do that within the system they are put into. I
I
mean,
mean, I was just thinking, like why do I have this name, right? Okay, I can't remember the English word of it. The írójelnév. Um, uh, pen name. There's an easy one for that in English, but then there is another
hmm
one. Um, that is more difficult to say that. But so, like, why do you do? Why did I name myself? It's pretty
hmm
close to my real name, but like, why did I give myself this other name? Because there are layers, or there are truths that I feel that I need to express,
Mhm.
and I don't feel free to do so for different reasons.
fear.
So,
There's a fear.
so like, I don't want to give my real name to it, not because I am a coward, but
Yeah.
because
Isn't it
what?
Yeah,
related to the voice at
voice. Hmm.
some level?
What the word that I was looking for?
No, the voice, the freedom of
No,
speech,
this
your own
thing
Oh,
voice, finding your own
is
voice.
sort of.
yeah. I mean, I know my own voice, and I've been, I was loudly, um, I was called nagyszájú, like an outspoken person, and people were like, "Oh, you said that? Like, you should be quiet about it. You shouldn't say that." And I did,
Yeah.
and just recently, um, I thought better, and I said, I thought I still think the same way, but I don't feel the freedom of expressing myself
Mhm.
because I don't want to deal with the backlash that it can cause. I'm not saying it is gonna cause. So like, And then the funny and interesting and beautiful thing about writing is, in fact, when you get to the point that you actually can express yourself and you say what you want to say, but hide it underneath, like imply it. Uh, that just thinking of poets, right? That they are talking about nature, whatever, I don't know. And yes, Emma says discretion. I can't pronounce that today.
Discretion. Yeah.
Discretion, yeah. So the poets, they talk about, let's say, nature, and then maybe they mean something else underneath. So, or they mean a lot more than what they are saying. And then, so if you know their lives, like learned, like we in literature classes, we did learn, first the writer's life to have an idea about them, and then we were talking about their works. It's like it comes to the seasons of life, really, and that is beautiful about writing poems or prose, that you can actually express all these feelings. And just, I don't know, I have not looked this up, but came to mind about like female writers. I mean, or that they actually had a pen name,
Yeah.
maybe, because I'm pretty sure that there were female writers back
And
in
they
the
were
old
used to
ages
men.
that they had used men's names as pen names
Yeah.
to be able to get published. I'm
Or be
not sure,
taken
but
seriously.
or be taken seriously. Yeah.
Even journalists, I believe, they were hiding behind a man's name because, yeah, in the old days, and things like that.
So there was always this need of self-expression, and then being seen for who we are, and what we have in our heads or in our hearts. And so that's part of nature. Oh, that reminds me. So would you like to talk about, like, you have something really cool um, being published pretty soon, right? So would you like to talk about that? I mean, you
Yes,
did show something a bit
yes, we do.
earlier.
This is our previous book. We have written many books in in Dancing Elephant Press, and this previous book was called Weaving Connection, which we started the series with the two Gabriellas. And this book is Nature Walk Across Continents that we published last December. And
Mm-hmm.
how this book came about is actually relating to that, finding that voice, which Gabi can tell you the story. And we started our lives in nature. And now the second book is going to be about women and women experiences, which I think is going to be super powerful. We
Wow.
are almost done. We are like this
Yeah.
final editing and final adding things, and it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be published this month. But I'm going to hand that to Gabi to share more about this. Um,
About the voice, finding the
yes, the finding the voice, because I think
my
it's an
voice, our
important
voice.
connection. Yes, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh, where should I start? Because it's been a journey in
yeah.
finding my voice, and then together with Gabriella through these lives in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for a long time, I felt like I couldn't even talk freely about things that I had in my mind. Something was really stopping me, and so I was writing before, and then even this sort of stopped until I became a mother.
Hmm.
And then this pushed the button somewhere, and I felt the need to express, but I didn't know, is it okay to do it? Can I do this? I
Mm-hmm.
had a meeting once, it was during COVID, a meeting with a trainer who's dealing exactly with this, with finding, with expressing yourself, and it's mostly through singing, so through the vocal cords. And
Mm-hmm.
that brought a lot of awareness for me. That short meeting, I couldn't pay for the program because it was really expensive, but it it helped me into releasing something. Anyway, so I found out that I could actually use my voice, and started to like it as well by recording myself, recording some readings from our books, and then the next step was being live on video on the first time with Gabriella and the team. It was really like I felt I couldn't, if I was there out there, I couldn't also talk at the same time or something like. So it was a long. I think it took about 3 years in total. All this,
Mm-hmm.
and then last year it was the major transformation through our nature walks, and I think nature itself, the grounding and all the sharing that we did helped the most, and we turned it into a book.
Yeah.
And this actually brought further discussions and deeper layers, and this is leading to our next book on women.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell anything about that?
What secrets
it's
should we share?
it's a book with layers. So
Yes, many
A
um,
book,
layers.
a
basically,
book with layers about womanhood, different
Yeah,
areas of
different
womanhood.
experiences. So there's
Mm-hmm.
experiences about spirituality, about women groups, women coming together, also about motherhood and birthing experiences, and intuition and parenting and more.
Wow,
it has
And it's
a
about, yeah,
it's all the
yeah.
fragments of a woman's life, right?
yeah,
It
coming together.
we try to put together many layers, and it's mostly through our experiences and our
Yes,
stories, and in a dialogue style as well, because
Mm-hmm.
we write and we also interact with each other in the text at the same
Right.
so I can
time.
show
This
you,
is
I can show you what we did, and this was Gabi's idea, and she gets full credit because normally in a book it would say like Gabriella said or Annalise said or whoever said. Well, we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to take that out and make it more fun, and Gabi come up with this idea that we created basically a little bobbleheads of us, and she created these in Canva. So when you see a conversation in our nature book, this was our first book that started like this, you could see our little heads. So
Okay.
who is saying what? So instead of having to
Right.
say, this person said this, person said that, we have our heads in the beginning, who is who, and then the conversation just kind of flows a little bit more freely because you see
Right.
our icon and you know that, oh, this is this Gabriella. And especially with us both being Gabriellas, this is like a, a great way of kind of distinguish with just like our little image. And it's
Mm-hmm.
more of a fun way to, and this we continued this tradition in our woman book where there's 4 women, and from different places on the planet coming together, sharing all these experiences through our eyes. And we also share some experiences, like I share some experiences of my own birth from my what I heard from my mother, and things like that as well. So it's from coming to this earth to giving birth to children, to all different experiences, what we feel that womanhood means to us,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what the 4 of us are sharing with the world.
and it
That's
opens the
great.
discussion forward,
Mm-hmm.
and we might continue with other books. This series, it's based on our way of connecting. So it all started
Yeah.
with connection.
Mm-hmm.
And while Gabriella was here in Hungary, we had some women groups, and we've been working on this in real life,
Yes,
Right.
which
as well.
was again another layer of transformation in our journey in weaving
Absolutely.
connections.
And then we continue, like, so Gabriella has her own women's group. I have my own women's group online, and I'm starting them in person as well. And we had some in person in Hungary. And then these series, we wanted to give this name of Weaving Connections. So it's a specific series of books that how it connects us. And the first one was about nature. The next one is about women, and we already have the third one
Then-
that we kind of started to work on in our mind, and some in paper, that's going to go into deeper into intuition and spirituality and all those kind of things. So with each book and each conversation and each live, we go deeper into voicing what our experience is in life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so these books that if we buy them, then they can standalone books as well as they can
Yes,
be viewed as a part of a
Yeah.
progression of our
yeah.
journey. I mean, we
Mhm.
have published many books before. The book before we published about poverty, and there's a book before we published about AI versus human, from the writer's perspective and from others' perspective.
Mhm.
And like I published 19 books total, and also helped other people publish books. So there's a lot of books out there, but it's more precious. Like every book is amazing, but it's like really focusing on building these connections with each other as humans, because we got so fragmented and disconnected in this society and this running way of life that we had,
Mhm.
that these books show personal stories, personal experiences, being out in nature, and also just show who we are through storytelling, which is the traditional way of talking to each other,
Mhm.
instead of um, just how are you and then walking away. We tell our stories, and hopefully
Right.
that will resonate with other people, and they are genuine, they are not AI generated, they are our experiences and
Mhm.
experiences of people who are close to us. So
And these conversations are also recorded, so uh, they are available for our paid subscribers also on Substack as audios and videos.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So those are. It started from real life conversations, and it goes deeper and deeper with each book.
So it's like
absolutely.
sitting around the fire, telling
Yes.
stories, right? What is it called? Not what is it called? The corn thing that when you are, you know,
Yeah, it comes from
no,
that
I'm thinking,
tradition when women sit around
yeah.
the fire and doing the
What is it
corn
called?
and
What do you do with the corn? When you are rubbing them
Peeling.
together and then
Mhm.
taking
yeah,
them
I
off
know
of
what you mean,
the
but I
core
can't
of it.
think of
Yeah.
the name
It is
exactly,
like a
neither in
workshop.
English nor in Hungarian. But you
So
get the
that
seeds, you
and
Yes,
said that
the
you get the
kernels.
kernels out of the
yeah,
corn. Yeah.
yeah. And then right now we are doing that without the corn, right?
Ex- well, yeah, each each
Layers of
each book can be a
ourselves.
kernel.
Yeah, and sowing seeds, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yes.
And getting
Well,
to the root.
hmm?
Sorry, and getting to the root. So
Yes.
Right. So I would like to thank you, both of you and everybody who joined us in this live session as a viewer for the comments that are made in the chat section of this live. And I mean, is there anything else you would like to add to this chat, to this conversation, either of you, Gabrielas?
I just want to say thank you for inviting us. It is very precious, and let us share about ourselves, our books, and about womanhood. And both of these going to be available on Substack, and also I have a YouTube channel, so they will be uploaded there as well. And come and join the conversation wherever you are, whenever you are.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Emma says that is called thrashing and winnowing. Thank you so much, Emma, for that input. Um, well, I hope you enjoyed the chat. I did. It went directions into which I didn't exactly expect to go to, but I am really happy that it did.
Yeah,
And maybe we can have another chat another time. Maybe talking about something different. So thank you so much. I have this weird view on my phone, so it's trying to pre-schedule since the beginning. So I'm like having this somewhat a layer over the picture. I was afraid of touching it over the live because I didn't want to stop the live. So I am going to hit an end button now, possibly. Don't say anything for the next 3 minutes that you don't want to accidentally end up on the live. It's like,
Bye,
I
everyone.
don't
Thank you
know.
for coming.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining
Thank
me,
you.
and we'll see you. Please, anybody, check out the two Gabriella's pages or activities or accounts here on Substack, and see you next weekend, perhaps. Right? Thank
Thanks.
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. And happy March.
Bye.